What's up guys, MasterFiggy back after a while not doing videos because of college work, finally getting around to do a first reaction video for you guys. One of the biggest things recently is Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is coming back a lot recently with the whole movie that was released quite recently earlier this year in the English dub. I know it was released back in 2016. I think it was August 2016. Maybe it was sooner than that. But in January it came out English dub in the UK, America, and here in Ireland. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see it. And of course, there's the new app game. So I just thought to myself, what would be a good video? And I thought, why not review the very first movie? But I did not have time. So I thought to myself, why not do a first reaction of the manga? And then I did that. But then I thought, wait a minute, why not do a first reaction of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX? Being a fan of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime, especially back in primary school, I was really excited to actually check this out because unlike the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, this manga was actually made while the anime was going, and it's only 9 volumes long, which is very short considering I think the anime itself is only about 150 plus episodes. I think that's actually only the episodes that were dubbed. I think there's a lot more than that, but there is a lot of huge amounts of episodes of the GX series, and they are definitely not in all 9 volumes. So I decided to read the first volume for this video, and it was interesting to say the least. Let me start off by saying, if you are someone who is completely new to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, I wouldn't actually recommend reading this just yet anyway, because it's really just for people that have watched the anime, or at least watched maybe the first, I want to say 15 episodes or so, because you get an idea of who Jaden is, the main character, because really they don't give a huge amount of detail in this. It's just sort of like, this is Duel Academy. It's on an island where people learn to duel, and you are divided into the ranks of Obelisk Blue, the absolutely great duelists, Raw Yellow, the ones that are probably smart but not as good as Obelisk Blue, and then there's Slifer Red, who are the lowest of the low on the island. What's kind of interesting about this is they really did try to just make it its own thing, because in between each chapter there's these little short 4-panel comic strips about the artist Naoki Kageyama, about how he was actually given the job of doing this manga, and he was told not to make it like the anime at all. All the characters' personalities, apart from Jaden, are quite different. You have Chaz, who in the anime was quite snobby, and he thought he was the best already. My interpretation of him in the manga is that he is trying to see his own strength and how he can go further with a dual spirit that he has. Other characters that appear more differently are Bastion, Alexis, and Cyrus. Bastion in the anime was a very intelligent person, which, it was just sort of like his one thing, and then it's like, yep, that's Bastion. Whereas in the manga, he is a very intellectual person, but you see that he actually has a crush on a certain character, and then that sort of drives him as well to duel Jaden in this. Pretty much every one of the main cast duel Jaden in this manga, and also you have Alexis, who is somewhat similar to her anime counterpart, but instead in the anime, where she's just sort of like, oh, there's the main character, I have a crush on him. In the manga, it comes across that she's trying to prove herself that women can be just as good as duelists as men, which is an interesting sort of vibe that I get from her, because I wasn't really expecting that. Then, of course, you have Cyrus, who definitely comes across as a more uh, cowardly character, like in the beginning of the anime. But you kind of see he's sort of like a bit goofier, a little bit in this manga with Jaden, and he always calls Jaden bro, and you see him kind of badass actually in the last couple of chapters in this volume, and I actually really enjoyed all the duels in this. They're very interesting. The first chapter is a very weird one. There's 9 chapters in this. The first one is just sort of its own chapter, and then all the other ones that follow it are kind of like mini arcs in like 2 chapters. So chapters 2, 3 are one mini arc, 4, 5, and I'm sure you can guess the rest. It's a good sort of introduction for people who are used to the GX anime, but it's just sort of like, yeah, you kind of need to watch the anime. That's the feeling I get from this, because it's kind of like they give a vague description of the world, and you need some information to go into this, because it feels like they sort of put you in like maybe a few episodes after the first episode of the anime, and being like, okay, that's our character. And to be honest, Jaden isn't really that different in the manga than he is in the anime. The whole point of the first chapter is really just to get a very quick and brief introduction to the character. It's good in terms of it just sort of gets it over and done with, especially if you've watched the anime. But first time readers like, okay, so this is our basic protagonist. I get it. But the interesting thing is that at the end of this, it says what's coming up in the next volume, where we actually dive into a backstory with Jaden, which I am looking forward to. I don't have volume 2 yet, but I think that would be interesting to read. But in this whole first chapter, you don't really get that much sense of the character, rather than he really is just a slacker. So I have no real idea of what the story is in this manga, because really it's kind of like the first season of GX, or at least the first half of GX, where there was just random duels going on. Um, just the sheer randomness. Well, not random exactly, but it just sort of feels like you could put these in any order whatsoever to read them. Uh, these chapters, that it really doesn't matter. You know, you I could have like rearranged like volume, or sorry, chapter 2 and 3 with chapters 8 and 9, and you probably wouldn't tell the difference. Do I look forward to reading more of this manga? I actually kind of do, because I was a big fan of the GX anime when I was younger. And am I a big fan of GX now? Um, kind of. I kind of am. Like the first season, yeah, was great. The second season wasn't my absolute favorite, but I still enjoy watching. And third season was amazing. I haven't watched season 4 yet, which is very disappointing, because I just haven't been able to have time to watch it. And I've been watching Arc 5, and I've been rewatching the original Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, I would like to get back to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and I think it's fun to read this manga, because I really enjoyed it. I read it on like one sitting, and I really enjoyed it, and I really wanted more to read. And I think I probably will get around to buying the other 8 volumes, especially since it's quite short, considering the length of the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga, which is like, off the top of my head, I think it's about 38 volumes, and then you have R as well, which came after this, I think. So that has like 43 volumes, I guess, something like that. Um, but yeah, I do look forward to reading more Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I don't really recommend it unless you've watched a few episodes of the anime to get a feeling of like what kind of atmosphere it is really, because it just sort of feels like you're just sort of put into it rather than slowly introduced to the world. And you can give it a go if you want, of what reading it, but I don't know if you'll enjoy it as much. So that's pretty much all I have to say. I have a first reaction video of the first 3 volumes of the Yu-Gi-Oh manga, the first Yu-Gi-Oh manga, and I plan to do a Yu-Gi-Oh 5D's first reaction video. If you guys want me to, please comment down below and I will. If not, then I probably won't bother doing it, to be honest, if people aren't enjoying these videos. So that's pretty much all I have to say. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time. I don't know when that will be. That could possibly be until Easter, maybe. I would like to try and get a video out next week, but there is absolutely no guarantee that is possible. But I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye and good luck.